that end of the week. Hey, how are you? Look at that. We are streaming live here in Orangeville. We're live at Island Lake Conservation Area. What a beautiful day. Feel that sunshine. Man, I'm so pumped to have your company today. This is a brand new beginning, something I'm calling Here and There with Anwar Knight, your host. I firstly want to say thank you so much for your outstanding support, not only over the last 15 years while I was at that network, but also more recently in the last few weeks. Your kind messages, your support has been really appreciated. And we're hoping that we can continue the momentum with shows like this. We're going to do this every Friday for the next few weeks. It'll all hinge on how we can grow this together. So firstly, thank you for your wonderful company today on a Friday. So much to share with you. Firstly, this spot where we're at, I mean, just beautiful. You can enjoy this year round. Phil, let's show some of the folks at home, the varied landscape here. It's really just amazing. Over 800 acres. Of course, there's forests, there's meadows, and then you have the lake and wetland. So over 800 acres in the towns of Orangeville and Mono. And there's some neat stories here as well, and we'll get into that in just a moment. But the key here for this live stream on my Facebook page is interaction, where we get to communicate one-on-one in live, real time, streaming live. So the AKQ today, it's a question I'm going to pose each week, and we'll get into that in one sec. But let's start the fact that it's Friday, the last Friday of the month, and also today marks officially now 21 days. That's 3 weeks officially until spring. Can you say, doo-dah? Yeah, I'm waiting for spring. I love winter, but I'm ready for spring because it signals new beginnings. And, the other thing today, what it signals, today is World Pistachio Day. Do you like pistachios? I love pistachios. And pistachios are loaded with nutrients, minerals, over 30 different kinds. So many nuts are good for you. But here's something that you may not have been aware of. They have enough protein equivalent to one egg. So we're talking about, now they say about 49 nuts. To me, that's a lot of pistachios. But if you eat 49, it's the same protein as the size of your average egg, about 6 grams. But the interesting thing about pistachios, and this I'm sure you didn't know, that they are a part of the cashew as well as the mango and poison ivy family. Yeah. And it's the chemical that's in it. I'm going to butcher the term, urushiol. Somebody's going to know it and they're going to correct me, but it's that chemical that makes you itch is what I'm getting at. And that's why pistachios, you won't ever see them as they grow on trees. In fact, pistachios look like mini mangoes. And so it's always the husk or the outer skin is removed, and then you just get the hard shell. And then obviously it's split and you open and you eat it. But isn't that something? Pistachios are part of the mango, cashew, and also poison ivy family. And it's that chemical that you react to. And, I had poison ivy a few years ago. Oh my goodness, it was just insane. When I went to emerge, I had it all on my arm, a bit of my face, and along the side of my leg. And the emerge doctor said to me, "Oh, this is the worst case I've ever seen." And I think, okay, well, I'm aiming high. That's what I'm doing. I'm aiming high, but it was just a terrible experience. So I don't wish that on anybody. That's why pistachios only have the hard nut shell on it. Everything else is removed. But the AKQ, back to that, the Anwar Knight query. What has become your COVID comfort food? Is there a certain food that you've gravitated to just because, we've been cocooning for a year, we've been doing everything but our normal routine? Now, nuts are certainly in there for me, but I got to tell you, the go-to in the last 6 or 7 months has been potato chips. I know. I'm trying to scale back on that now because I'm starting to look like a potato. But potato chips would certainly be up there. Phil, what about you? Comfort food, COVID? Don't say Jack Daniels.
Ice cream.
Ice cream. Oh, good one. Vern, comfort food, COVID? Anything in particular?
COVID.
He's just been dealing with COVID. Not that he's had it, but in terms of isolation. So what is your comfort food? All right, COVID comfort food. Let me know. That's the AKQ. Now, as we pan over, I want to show you over here. I see there's a bridge. And this is really interesting because they have the Friends of Island Lake here. It's a fundraising committee under the CVC, the Credit Valley Conservation. So they're dedicated members of the community. They've worked very hard to extend the trails here. In fact, we've done over 10 clicks for everyone to enjoy. And they're also trying to rebuild the covered bridge. Only 10% of it remains intact from the 19th century. So that's kind of cool. If you want to support the cause, by all means, check out the website at cvcfoundation.ca. This is a beautiful spot year-round, not only because, you have many different things to enjoy, including the trails, but also it plays a vital role for ecosystems. So you have not only the lakes. Be careful, Phil. There's somebody coming up with a guard dog here. So we'll stick on this. We're just live streaming here. That's okay. You can walk through. That's all right. Look at this beautiful pup here. Oh, Vern. Either Vern's got pot in the bag or... Oh, you did? Well, you see, she said she bought her annual membership. You see, everybody wants to head outdoors, and this is one of those spots. But, you can enjoy it year-round, but it plays a vital role for ecosystems. So you have not only, of course, some of the forests and the trails, but the wetlands, the rivers, and, of course, the lake. Now, this lake, all of it together, really adds to being, nature's pure filter system. So what happens is that all of the chemicals and things that come from the rain, they'll be naturally filtered out before it's allowed to flow into the Credit River and then eventually down to the lake. And that's what this really became. You see, back in the 1800s, 1830s, this was farmland. Michael Island came from Ireland, and he was the original settler here into the region. And as a result, they did a lot of development. I say development, it would be by hand and by horse, but there was all forest here. But if you wanted to grow food to survive, you had to make a farm. So what happens, they would go out into the fields by hand and with horse, and they'd be removing all the stones. And what's interesting, especially in the summer, a little more difficult at night in the wintertime, but in and around, the acreage here, you may find still piles of stones or even some remnants of a stone fence, a sort of a border on the property. And that's what's cool about it, is that these stones, they were touched last probably almost 200 years ago. So that's sort of a neat search and discovery thing. When you're taking the kids out, always looking for ideas, at least in our family, to engage the kids and have a neat story. That's one of them. The fact, if you go around here, you may see some little rock piles. And it was from the Island family back in the 1830s. Now, if you fast forward it, they eventually, obviously, the islands moved on, but the municipality here ended up flooding the farmland and the forest, and they created a reservoir, and that's what this lake is about now. And the reason for it is to do flood control, essentially. The moisture that comes down through in here, they wanted to mitigate the flow into the Credit River, and that's how they had to do it. So it was known for a long time as just the Orangeville Reservoir in the region. And then, eventually it got changed over into Island Lake. And there's some controversy. Some people say, descendants of the Island Lake family, they actually wanted to call it Islands Lake for the family. And some people say it is, whereas others think it's representing the little bit of the islands that are still into the lake when they flooded it over. Regardless, officially, as we stream live here, it is the Island Lake Conservation Area in Orangeville. And the wildlife that's here, wow, it is spectacular. You've got a whole bunch of different mammals, raccoons, deer, red foxes, and apparently even flying squirrels. I didn't know we had them in Ontario, but that'd be kind of cool to check out. Flying red squirrels, but also lots of birds. So this is, you can imagine, when the snow is gone, this is a prime migratory stop, if you will. And they have even the osprey here. Have you ever seen an osprey? A beautiful raptor. And it's sometimes dubbed, let's show a little bit of the lake, Phil, so people get an idea just how vast this is. The osprey, known as a river hawk sometimes, because it's not finicky when it comes to the fish that it eats. In fact, some studies say it'll eat 80 different types of fish species, but that's one of the beautiful creatures that you can find calling this place home. So let's take a look at some of your comments now. Vern, I'll grab the tablet from you. And, the AKQ this morning is what is your comfort food? So let's find out. I'll have to dial in here, and then we'll get to your forecast before we try some ice fishing, which is kind of neat. So in the meantime, Phil, just show how many people. And normally, I mean, this becomes almost like a little village with tents. They typically rent them out, but not because of COVID. This year, they're not. So you have to bring your own. But already we have several people here that are, enjoying some ice fishing, which is kind of cool. And we're going to try that as well. So let's take a look here. Let's see if I can load up. And in the meantime, we have lots of sunshine. That's the good part on a Friday. And we can expect certainly the sunshine to continue for today, which is going to be very nice. So I'm just going to dial in here and we'll see if we can connect with you guys as we stream live here in Orangeville. So Ron Carter, oh, look at that, from the Mississauga Classic Car Club is looking in. And Cheryl, anything chocolate. So that's your go-to, eh, Cheryl? That's kind of cool. Let's see, cheesies. Are you doing cheesies, Judy? Man, I don't like the stuff on the fingers after. You're all covered in orange, but I feel you when it comes to the taste. Kobakonk, Diane is joining us from, Catherine, you said cheese. I'll tell you, if there's one thing I can't give up, it's cheese. You're absolutely right. We got cookies and ice cream, bread rolls, Diane. Anything your husband makes for dinner. Well, lucky you, Diane. Catherine says popcorn. That has been our go-to of late. We've done a lot of popcorn because it's healthier, right, with the kids. And, Diane says, good to see you. Well, thank you for that, Diane. I appreciate it. Susan, cheese and crackers. Yep, I'm with you there. Sandra says, nice to see you. Love the outdoor segments. Appreciate that. And also Heather, comfort food, steak and mushroom pie. My kind of gal. Although I've stopped eating steak for a while now. But Heather, you've been a long time supporter. Thank you so much for joining us today. And Janice says she's joining us from Whitby. Also, Wally, 100% chance of happiness. That's very kind of you, Wally. Thank you for that. Cindy joining us from Oshawa, also a long-time supporter. Hi, guys. How are you? We're just streaming live here. And then MG saying ice cream bars. Oh, fresh cinnamon donuts. Yes, Marilyn. Linda saying pasta. Another popcorn. Vicky, you're saying chili. I like that. I like that idea. And hello to Penny Lynn from Oshawa. And gummies? You're eating gummies? Holy smokes. And then Peter saying poutine. Wow, we got a lot of creative comfort foods here. Chips from Elizabeth. Bagels. Oh, yes. Listen, there is nothing that a bagel can't fix. You're absolutely right. I love that. And is wine a food? Vern, is liquid considered a food? Yeah, I think in your books it is. Yeah, for sure. Let's see what else very quickly here. Dario is joining us from Montreal. Hi, Dario. Thanks for looking in. Hi, Linda. And also Norma, hot dogs and milk. Kevin, smoked oysters, potatoes. Wow, this list goes on. Brenda's watching in from London. Margaret is saying in Milton, hey, and she misses us. Well, that's why we're doing this. Every Friday, we're going to stream live, and we're going to take you around the GTA. Okay, so I'm going to pass this along, Vern, and let's get to your forecast, and then we're going to start drilling a hole on the ice. So firstly, let's take a look at your national map here. We're going to start off on your forecast and what you can expect. And ideally, beautiful day today because we have certainly a lot of sunny conditions with the ridge of high pressure in place. But we are going to be dealing with two systems that are going to converge together. And you can see that here on the system map. So we have one into our northwest and another one into our deep south. Now, that one in the deep south, it's bringing all the moisture and the warm air. So let me show you the radar signatures, courtesy of our friends at NOAA. This one is primarily going to be the weather maker down into the deep south. There's not much moisture for the other low into northwestern Ontario when it pushes in, but it brings the cold air. So this parcel of energy from the deep U.S., it's Gulf moisture, so there's going to be a warming trend. Temperatures well above the seasonal mark. You can see that energy, and it's slowly going to drift to the north. So let's put it all together. We'll take a look now in and around the Toronto area. This is what you can expect. So your forecast, mainly sunny today, a high of 3 degrees. You know, the norm is around 2. And as we get into as we get into the overnight, increasing clouds, periods of wet snow, and that should happen between 4 and 5 a.m. I don't think it's going to amount to much, likely going to melt on contact, but let's just say a couple of centimeters before it starts to change over to some rain. But there is a risk of some freezing rain in there. Rest of southern Ontario, mainly sunny skies today, 2 to 3 degrees for highs, and then increasing clouds with periods of wet snow. And again, I think primarily to the southwest, it's going to be too warm to permit snowfall. So it's going to be rain and a freezing rain mix. So potentially some slippery conditions, especially as you get into southwestern areas of the province. Now to the north, for you in cottage country, it remains cool enough that it's primarily a snow event, 5 to 10 centimeters in and around Parry Sound, Muskoka region. And then as we get to the 5-day forecast, so sunshine today, wet snow early in the morning tomorrow, mixing possibly with a brief amount of freezing rain, then rain. Likely a few breaks late in the day, but a high of 7 degrees. Sunday, we get another system moving in, rain showers, high of 6. Monday, a mix of sun and cloud, windy, a high of 2. And Tuesday, 0 with a mix of sun and cloud. Current temperatures, 1 at Pearson, 0 in Hamilton, as well as London, -2 in Kingston, and we're sitting at -1 in Barrie. So, when you're going ice fishing, we have literally some of the best spots in the country to do some ice fishing, especially northern sections of Ontario. But this is a beautiful spot. And, Brett, right? Brett with CVC, Credit Valley Conservation. By the way, they're sort of the stewards here of Island Lake Conservation Area, one of 36 different ones in the province. And you were telling me, like, in peak conditions, especially if it's not COVID, I mean, this is just packed, right? You will drill hundreds and hundreds of holes into the ice. But I'm curious, I know sort of the guidelines for safety on the ice, and that is key. They typically say 5 or 6 inches or 15 centimeters. What do we have out here now?
So this time we've got about 11 inches.
11 inches. Wow. So more than double than what we need.
Exactly. So like I said, 5 inches is what you need to be safe.
Yeah.
We do have some areas that are closed off because they're not quite 5 inches, but 11 we've got more than we need.
So you don't mess around. Look at the auger here. Where are we headed? I told him, I said, find a spot, place the chair. Is it dead center at noon? Wow. I'm going to be hungry by the time we get to that chair over there. I think we're in Barrie at that point. But this is really neat. We bring the kids here quite often. And this is a unique experience in itself because, in the summertime, you can certainly enjoy it. And we've come here. You probably can't see it. Phil, are you able to show that bridge straight ahead? It's probably going to be very far to see. But there are trails, and you can go a trail right around the lake. But there are these boardwalk bridges that take you over the water. So when we come cycling with the kids, we'll do the whole thing. And it's just such an amazing adventure because you get to actually go across some of the parts of the water. And there's a different thing to explore, every kilometer or so. And that one's about 8 clicks, I think 8.2 officially. But they have one that's also not as intense, about a 3-kilometer trail around here. And it's really geared for anybody's ability. Now, that being said, with the snow and some icy conditions, you want to use extreme care, but certainly an option here. But we've got a couple of other fellow fishermen over here. I think they're packing up. But there we have our chair. And we should point out, Brett, that you do need a license to go ice fishing. Yeah. Right. Okay. And this could be a great activity. If you don't have your own tent and you want it, you can purchase a one-day event, right?
Yeah, typically we do our rentals typical year.
Right. Okay. But you can get a one-day license too, can you not?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you can. So, and you can get everything here. But the reason why I mention that, if you're not bringing your tent and they're not renting it out because of COVID, you want to dress very warmly. You guys catch anything today? You did? Oh, that's cool. 4. So what time are we eating? We're just streaming live here around the world. So do you have them in the bucket? Can you just lift it up? Is that doable? Or once you say you're live, they'll try anything. So just 1 sec, Brett. We'll be there 1 sec. I just want to see. Well, are you getting them out of a bag? They look pretty small then. Oh, look at this. So those are pike. Wow. Well, that's very impressive. You know what kills me? Look at the size of those. So what would that be? 2 pounds? There.
Yeah.
But and it comes out of this little hole right here. Wow. That's amazing. That's great. Do you guys do this often?
No,
No.
it's my first time.
Your first time? Well, then I'm hoping that beginner's luck is going to rub off on me. So let's head back over here. So Brett's got the auger. And okay, so Brett, you go ahead because I want to get out of your way here. Go ahead. So he's going to drill. Oh, look at that. Wow. And that's a battery operated. I thought it was gas. Wow, look at that. So that's it. And we can start.
Yeah.
Well, look at this. My goodness. Okay. There is one minor problem. Now, I've only gone ice fishing once before, but I see the minnows here, and then I see the rod here, but I don't see the minnow on the hook on the rod. So who does that part? Is that typically us?
Typically, you would do that.
Okay.
Yeah. So
well-
I've got an artificial bait.
Oh, let's do
So
that.
we can do that instead.
Let's do that.
Everything's easy.
Because I don't want people saying you're hurting a fish live on a live stream. So if you would be so kind,
Yeah, absolutely.
he's going to set it up for us. And the only thing that's missing now, I'm thinking, is some pistachios, right? I mean, you come out, we're talking about comfort foods. It's World Pistachio Day. During COVID, what's been your comfort food? What would you say?
Comfort food.
Yeah. Is there anything you go to?
Cheese.
Cheese. We've had
Love
cheese.
cheese.
A lot of people saying cheese. So, okay, so you're putting it on?
Yeah, so this is artificial bait. So what you want to do is hook it just below the dorsal fin.
Below the dorsal fin, yeah.
Exactly. So what you want is live action.
A live action, so it'll wiggle.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're coming to get you. All right. Let's do this. Okay. All right.
Yeah, there we go.
And how far do you let it drop?
The water here isn't very deep. It's
Right.
About 5 to 6 feet here. So
5 to 6
you
feet.
want to be about 3 to 4 feet.
And do I want to wiggle a bit?
Typically, if you've got a live minnow on there, it'll do the action for you. But since you're using artificial,
Right.
it's always a good idea.
Okay. So this is it.
This is it. It's very social event.
I guess. But there was this big buildup. I thought maybe we're missing the hut and the little beverage of a sociable nature. I don't know. But, this would be really a cool thing to do with kids as well, because it's such a unique experience. And the fact that, the gentleman over there, he caught his 4, that's pretty impressive. Vern, would you mind bringing the tablet? We'll say hello to some more viewers. And in the meantime, we'll hope that we get something here as we stream live at Island Lake Conservation area here in Orangeville. The CVC, Credit Valley Conservation, they do amazing work, like all the conservation authorities. But this has been really a great opportunity because of COVID to get outside and, just sort of break the routine, get some fresh air and connect with nature. As you know, that's one of the things that I really like to encourage. Now, we have to remember, though, when you're coming into some of these conservation areas, some of them may require reservations, and you want to make sure you play it safe. I still have a mask in here ready to go. The crew has a mask, so I'm just going to load up here, and hopefully we'll get a little bite. Have you guys done ice fishing before? This would be my very first time this year for sure. I'm going to load this up. And the sunshine really makes up for it. I can imagine on a cloudy, cold day, this is a different experience, So let's see here. Oh, Cindy says, so glad we're back. Thank you. Appreciate that. And Stephanie joining us from Ajax. Lori is saying, what a gorgeous day for a little fishing. It'd be a better day to catch a fish, though, Lori. I'm just saying. And let's check here. Gloria, we missed you from Etobicoke, but it's nice to see you today. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. And sure, oh my goodness, we have so many. Rita is saying brownies. She's watching in from Oshawa. And Janet has never done ice fishing. Well, then maybe this is it. This is your calling. Maybe you need to try it out. I'm doing a little dance here. I see you put a little weight on there too. Hey, Brett. So we'll keep this going. Kathy says, glad you're back. What a great idea. She loves it. Oh, Bobby Joe watching in from Trenton. Thank you for that. And also, Diane says she tried ice fishing in Skoogog. I'd imagine some pretty good action in Skoogog. And Diane says, hope I catch one. I hope so too. Judy, have ice fished a lot in years before on Lake Simcoe. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. Have you ever caught anything being here?
Yeah, the staff do pretty well a lot of times.
They do, eh?
Catching 10 plus fish in a day.
10 plus?
Pretty common.
Well, then you know what? We're not wrapping up our live stream until I catch one. And maybe that'll end up being the minnows. I'm not sure. Wow, let's take a look here. Okay, so good luck, Jane says. And Dare is saying, very cool. Thank you for showing us. My pleasure. Jennifer is saying hello from Belleville. Beth is saying hello. Wally is saying hello. We have so many people. Thank you so much, guys. This is amazing. So we're still just trying to do this here. And let me turn this off for a sec now. And I don't know. I was thinking that we did catch something. Would I feel a pull?
Yeah, you feel a tug.
Yeah. Okay.
Give it a bit of a tug and set.
Right. Well, I don't know. Oh, did I break it?
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. So the whole idea, though, as I mentioned, is you just want to get outdoors. Especially when, I've got 2 young kids who are doing online schooling, and they're doing quite well. I'm very blessed with that in terms of their schooling, and they've embraced it. But it's important to get outside. Some of the experts are also saying that myopia rates are going up, and that's a condition with the eyes because there's so much screen time that your eyes need a couple hours of daylight a day. So when you can, try to get them out, even if that means just in your local park, but certainly trying to expand and looking at different places, conservation areas like this one to explore. But check the websites because there will be restrictions. There'll also be, as I mentioned, reservations, but certainly come on out. This has been so much fun. I think what we're going to do, we're going to try to come back in the summertime as well, and maybe we'll take you on for a cycle all around the park because it's quite fantastic. All the different things that you can see, and again, the history. There's always a great story here. So we want to thank everybody at Credit Valley Conservation. Thank you so much for that. Remember, cvcfoundation.ca, if you'd like to donate to their cause. They're rebuilding some of the bridges and continuing some of their trail work. And if you have an idea for the show, places that you'd like us to stream live from, by all means, let us know. But I'm going to ask you now, at this point, to please like what you're seeing, if you do like it, and share it. Because the key, the success to this program that we're trying to do now is about you, the viewers. So the more viewers that can interact with us, that watch us regularly, and then, of course, sponsorship comes with it, and then we can get all the bells and whistles and go 5 days a week. So please subscribe on my YouTube channel. We're going to re-rack this and put it on the YouTube channel. Don't forget the podcast at bigbluemarble.earth, and share this link. Tell your friends about it. Let's take care of one another as we continue through COVID, and share a smile, because that's what it's all about. And there's nothing better than a sunny winter's day to put a smile on your face. I want to thank you for joining us, everybody, today. Big thank you to the crew. We got Phil, we got Vern and Jason at Master Control. Thank you so much for joining us. Streaming live on a little show I like to call Here and There. Now, next week, hold on, Phil. Next week, where will we be? It's a very good question, but you know the answer. We'll be here and there. All right. See you then. See you Friday, guys. Thanks very much. Okay, we got to catch the big one. I'm not.